Welcome to the Football Guys Fantasy Football Draft GM demonstration video. Adding a new league. A single league can have multiple drafts, so you only need to enter your settings once. Just tap the Add League button. Editing your league. Tap on the name of your league and then the yellow button. Turn on Advanced Mode for all our settings. If your draft type isn't listed, choose Customize. You'll be able to set it up later. Enter the names of your teams. The AI skill is how well they'll draft in auto draft mode. We support every roster setting imaginable, including IDP, flexes, wide receiver tight ends, and limits to how many of each position a fantasy team can draft. The app will use your roster settings to auto-calculate the number of rounds. Increase or decrease the bench count to change the number of rounds easily. There's extensive scoring support across multiple scoring categories. Enter 0.5 PPR for all positions, or enter a different value for each position. Here we're setting wide receivers to 1 PPR and tight ends to 1.5 PPR. Team defense sacks are listed under tackles and sacks. Some stats such as touchdowns and field goals can be split across distances. Enter your keepers using this simple form. For auction leagues, you'll see a dollar value here instead of a draft round. Deleting a league. Just tab the red bin and confirm. Deleted leagues cannot be restored. Viewing drafts for a league. Draft again and again for each league. Tap on your league to see all your previous drafts. Setting up a new draft. The green button, top right here, will allow you to add a new draft. You can set up advanced draft order with customized order or use one of our presets. Turning mock draft off will allow you to enter all the picks for a real draft. Leaving mock draft on will allow you to select which teams the app auto drafts for. On the clock. When it's your turn to pick, the on the clock screen lists available players by our advanced value-based drafting algorithm, or our positional need algorithm, which analyzes your existing roster to see which positions you should be drafting next. Footballguys.com is the home of value-based drafting. You can also list by ADP or search for a specific player. Tap them once to add your shortlist or double tap to pick any immediately. Shortlist. The most advanced interface for comparing players across. Projections for this year and past stats. Our staff rankings. Average draft positions over the entire offseason. The latest news combined for all the players on your shortlist. Picking a player. Your shortlist player list has buttons to pick each player or double tap them from the on-the-clock player list. Auto draft. If you're in a mock draft, the AI will then start to pick for the other teams. Our auto draft algorithm is the benchmark across the fantasy football world and includes randomness as the draft progresses, so no two drafts are the same. If you're in a live draft, you can continue by entering the picks made by the other teams into the app. Unpicking. Any previous single selection can be unpicked by tapping the pick on the draft board. Skipping. The current pick can also be skipped. Tap it again to return the pick. Rosters. We list the projected weekly totals for each fantasy team. You can easily see the number of drafted players at each position for each team. And we auto-calculate the projected starting rosters across your league. Trades. Trades can be entered easily. Draft order. The draft order can be edited in draft. All changes will be saved to your league for future drafts. Auto draft. If you know how certain teams will pick, turn off auto draft for their early picks, enter them yourself into the app, and carry on. Auction drafts. First, make sure your league's draft type is set to auction and enter your cap and minimum bid. The app generates dynamic projected retail values for each player. These change during the draft as your auction will always under or overvalue certain players. The app adjusts to the total unspent dollar amount remaining. Tap on a player and hit the Assign to Team button to enter who won the auction for that player. The app calculates the maximum possible bid any team can make as well as their remaining budget. The draft board records the under-over paid percentages for each player. Changing the player rankings. Leave the draft and go to the Players tab to get the position player list. Hit Edit Rankings. Select a player and use our slider to move their fantasy worth up or down. The list reorders as you do this. Here we're moving Colin Kaepernick up our rankings. Save your changes and the app's in-draft rankings are adjusted accordingly. Advanced settings. Adjust how long it takes the app to auto-draft each pick. We have multiple staff members who project the fantasy stats for each season. You can change the balance of these projection sets that the app uses. You can even move whole positions up or down the rankings to match your leagues. If you have any questions, just send us some feedback from the support section of the app. We'll be updating the data regularly until the season starts.